Happy New Year, everyone! Welcome back to Eurogamer in the year 2022. I'm Ian Higton, and it's time once again for my yearly video game predictions video. The first of which, I feel compelled to tell you for absolutely no reason at all, came out in the year 2016. But anyway, while 2021 was just as bollocks as 2020 in terms of real world events, if you watch last year's predictions video, you'll know that all the video games featured in that list were wildly off the mark when it came to predicting what life would be like for us future folk. But what do video games from the past think life will be like for us this year? Let's find out as I consult 5 games set in 2022 to see what's in store for us now that the bells have bonged and the time has ticked around to January o'clock. At the time of writing the script for this video, Japan had just announced that it was going to bar all new foreign visitors from entering the country due to the new Omicron strain of COVID-19. I've got no idea if that ban will still be in effect by the time this video finally goes live. I really hope not. But either way, if Earth Defense Force 5 is to be believed, this ban isn't going to be enough to stop a different kind of foreign visitor from entering Japan's borders. Namely, aliens! That's right, at some point in the year of our Lord 2022, an immense fleet of starships is going to attack an EDF base located somewhere near the outskirts of Japan's Kanto region. For those of you familiar with the EDF series, you'll know that this kind of invasion normally means dealing with legions upon legions of supersized, skyscraper-scaling insects. But, unfortunately, 2022 also has a non-insecty sting in its tail, in the form of the primers. These humanoid enemies come in many forms, mainly frog-like, but always massive and cybernetic. Still, they won't be the worst things to attack Japan in 2022, because those pesky primers also brought along a bloody kaiju or two. Gulp. Huh, try asking that thing for its vaccine passport. Go on, I dare you. Still, it's not all bad news, especially if you're a music lover, because if you manage to avoid getting impaled by a 6-foot wasp stinger or squished by a gigantic woodlouse with a grudge, you'll be able to indulge in 2022's new musical genre, morale-boosting army sing-alongs.
Oh, we are the valiant infantry. We're the alpha team with passion and camaraderie. I want to make some money.
Hear us as we shout at the top of our lungs. Be calm, be bold, and raise your guns.
Well, okay, those lyrics could do with a little bit of workshopping, but to be fair, it is quite a catchy melody, isn't it? Look, I don't watch American football, and in fact, outside of a few brief scenes of it that I've seen and not understood in various Hollywood movies, I don't think I've even watched more than 30 seconds of it in my life. Even so, I'm pretty sure that up until the end of 2021 at least, we didn't have any robots playing the game for us. And I'm as sure can be that the game isn't currently being played in space on a massive metal pitch like this one. Also, having an open-air pitch like this in space, where famously there's no air, may prove a problem for any non-robotic spectators in the crowd. Honestly, as an owner of a pair of real-life flesh lungs, and as a big fan of using those flesh lungs to, not die, I feel like that's a problem that's probably worth looking into a bit. Still, according to Cyberbull here, this is how football, the American kind of course, is going to look in 2022, with human players being replaced by robots of various shapes, sizes and lower halves. Some, like the quarterback here, look relatively humanoid, while the linebacker seems to be a hulking behemoth on tank tracks, and the cornerback sports wheels and a nifty pair of pincers. Although when I think about it, I'm not too sure that a pair of pincers would be the best implements available for trying to catch an American hand egg. I mean, it'd just pop out really easily. Surely you're just making things harder for yourself, little robot. Either way, if you'd like to spend 2022 watching wide receivers rub up against tight ends, this new Cyberbull sport seems to be the place to be. As you can probably tell from this footage, I had absolutely no idea what was going on when I played this game for myself, but luckily I stumbled across a password that unlocks the ending of the game that normally plays after you complete the tournament. And what do all your efforts to be a successful robotic Cyberbull player win you? Well, you get this trophy, which is awarded for outplaying, outbashing, and basically knocking the other team senseless, which kinda suggests sportsmanship is about to die in 2022. But also, and I don't know for sure here, but it sort of looks like you might also get abducted by aliens if you win. So I guess the real question then is, what exactly do those aliens want with the winner anyway? Are they after some kind of probing after-match analysis, or do they just want to probe their anus? Perfect Dark for the Game Boy Color may share the same name as the classic N64 sci-fi shooter, but this top-down delight is actually a prequel to that Perfect Dark, and as such, it's set in 2022, just 1 year before the events of the original game. According to the story here, this year starts off normal enough, with Joanna Dark making her way through the final stages of her training at the Carrington Institute. The training grounds are in an old, crumbling building, and Joanna's opponents are just standard, non-zombified human beings. So far, so normal then, you might be thinking. But hold your horses, because you're just about to learn about the secret cyborg manufacturing plant that's just been built in the South American jungle. Really? Yep, that's right. Thanks to the bizarrely named billionaire Mink Hunter, cyborg production is about to go from 0% in 2021 to 100% in 2022. And it's up to Joanna to stop that from happening, which you'll be happy to hear is something that she manages to do, after convincing Minky Boy to take a dive into some lava, that is. But wait, don't go relaxing just yet, because, according to Perfect Dark, as soon as the cyborgs are out of the way, we'll get hit by another threat. Namely, aliens! Ooh, just got a little bit of deja vu there. This crashed alien craft here belongs to the Skedar, whom you might remember from the N64 version of Perfect Dark. But we'll need to wait until next year to meet those exosuit-wearing idiots, because at the moment, their secrets are being closely guarded by the Datadyne Corporation, who have a lot of firepower at their disposal, including this weird flying mech that'd give Doc Ock a run for his money. But who on earth is piloting that thing, you may be wondering?
Optimus Prime does not follow orders, especially from one such as you.
Octopus Prime? Oh, Jesus, I kind of wish I hadn't asked now, but to be fair, Octopus Prime is quite a good pun, I suppose. Oh yeah, here we go. Another year, another prediction of a zombie outbreak. But this one does seem to be way more accurate than pretty much any of the other video game predictions we've seen before. Almost uncomfortably so. You see, according to Dead Rising 4 here, just after Christmas 2021, which is right now, folks, we're going to be seeing a massive zombie outbreak caused by, wait for it, a more aggressive strain of a parasite that previous treatments like Zombrex are now ineffective against. Which again, at the time of making this video at least, seems oddly prescient. Shout out to you, Omicron, you prick.
This looks very not good.
So, aside from mirroring our real-life COVID-19 pandemic with a fictional zombie pandemic, what else does Dead Rising 4 tell us to expect from 2022? Well, to be fair, once again, this past vision of our future seems to be pretty much the same as what we've already got. Technology is almost identical, global governments are covering things up, and rather than working together as a society to solve the pandemic problem as quickly as possible, some human beings are basically just being utter dicks about it all and causing way more unnecessary deaths than are needed. Oh, and this zombie pandemic that's currently ruining Frank West's life? Well, that kicked off during the crush of the Black Friday sales, as thousands of shoppers rubbed up against each other in unventilated indoor environments. So, how can we learn from this and avoid it? Well, maybe just wear a mask the next time you go into a shop. It's a little bit of cloth on your face for, 5 minutes while you queue up to buy a bag of Skittles or something? And who knows, if you mask up right now, perhaps you'll play a hand in averting 2022's upcoming zombie apocalypse.
Thank you. Please call again.
Just one look at Skyhammer's interpretation of 2022 will tell you that we've got a long, long way to go in order to live up to its expectations of the future. Or have we? You see, while its visuals of a dystopian, futuristic megacity may look more than a little bit ahead of where we are now, certain plot points in this game definitely hit closer to home. I mean, listen to this. Early in the 21st century, cyberspace was declared the legal equivalent of hard space. Virtual people dominated worldwide decision-making. I mean, wow, they're kind of almost describing the metaverse there, aren't they? Wow, Zuckerberg really does have a lot to answer for, and that's not counting almost destroying democracy using a website he created just so he could perv over girls he fancied. Zuck, you fuck! The rest of the game predicts a thoroughly bleak sci-fi future, one where corporate overlords force civilians to choose between corporate slavery or becoming outlaws, and where deadly gangs rule the streets with an iron fist. If you're lucky enough to get your very own Skyhammer though, you won't be seeing any of those things because you'll be busy zooming around town shooting at robots, turrets and enemy aircraft that belong to rival corporations. But if having a couple of cranky corporations nipping at my heels is the price that I have to pay in order to own what basically amounts to my very own flying future car, well, I guess that's something I'm just gonna have to live with. And there we go, that was 2022 according to video games. Now, if you'd have shown me that list a couple of years ago, I'd have laughed you out of the building. But after what we've been through as a human race in the past couple of years, I kind of think anything's possible and I'm not taking anything for granted anymore. So let's just cross our fingers and hope, eh? Anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, do give it a like. Do subscribe to Eurogamer for daily videos throughout the entirety of 2022. And do have a very happy and very wholesome brand new year. Goodbye. Why is there nobody else at this party? I'm so lonely.